you made me do. Face, mascara, erase. I wanna look good for you. I always comb my hair. Pink, blue, purple. I wanna make it good for you. If I wear a dress, he will never call. So I wear much less. I guess I'll wear my camisole. If I wear a dress, he will never call. So I wear much less. I guess I'll wear my camisole. Make up, make up, make up, make up. I'm not ready yet. Make up. Smoke a cigarette. I'm not ready yet. Make up. Smoke a cigarette. I'm not ready yet.
King Edward Hotel. Hardly anyone ever checks in. Nobody ever checks out.
Now, I'm letting you stay here on one condition. That you promise not to wander around the hotel alone. This is no place for a little girl.
Alice!
Behind each door, there's a private terror. And at the heart of each terror
Cheryl?
are the private parts.
Cheryl? Oh, Cheryl!
In cases like yours, instruction is most important.
Follow Cheryl as she leads you through the darkest corridors of your mind. Private Parts, rated R.
Of the Red Death, personalized by the motion picture screen's Prince of Horror, Vincent Price.
Carrazzo.
No, I beg of you! Mercy, mercy!
With the devil's own darling, Hazel Court.
Lord Satan, send me a demon, so I may know I'm to be your wife.
And a lost, virginal angel of innocence, Jane Asher.
I want to help save your soul so you can join me in the glories of hell.
No, never.
She's a woman cursed by Satan's seneschal, whose very existence turns the white rose blood red.
Diamonds, rubies, emeralds, pearls.
Lavishly, he plants his corrupting seeds of sin, spreading living terror that not even the unsullied can escape. Nor can one who craves all the forbidden pleasures of the depraved.
Each man creates his own heaven, his own hell.
Let me see your face.
Yes, next week on the Drive-In Asylum late movie. It will be another late movie, 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're going to be watching Mask of the Red Death.
Man, Paul McCartney's one-time love, Jane Asher, showing up in that movie.
Who wasn't his one-time
Oh,
love?
I know. He's dated a girl. He was married to a girl with one leg for a while.
His one-legged love.
Yeah.
It had to go there.
I saw Paul was talking about this, the Zaat Blu-ray DVD feature that we showed in the first segment when he wasn't here. Oh, Zaat. So I love this movie. I love it even more after watching it. The music's great. There's scenes in it that I have no idea why they're in the movie. And I love it even more. Why did those hippies Pied Piper themselves into the jail?
And what happened to them after they did?
Yeah. It's just amazing. The heroes are all genuinely ineffective. The bad guy wins. It's really amazing. Also, we didn't talk about it before, but that snake bite scene's real. That's like a backwards Cannibal Holocaust. The snake really did swim out of the water and bite him. And that's something else. That hippie song's pretty awesome. I have a feeling that it might show up in one of the openings sooner or later, or some of definitely the thing Bill and I think probably took most from this movie is we want those control systems that were in his lab. They're also the same lab scenes from Revenge of the Creatures, supposedly. But that oscilloscope with all the lights around it, pretty awesome.
It was totally Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah.
It was a Spencer's Gifts extravaganza, and that neon tube that was on the wall. It was just like a single blue neon tube.
Yeah.
In this dead center in the wall. I want to know what all that shit was supposed to be doing. Like, explain that matrix of lights to me, Doctor.
Also, the other scene that you brought up, which is crazy, is when the one Gil Gerard looking guy is riding on the side of the Jeep, and they just drive into a branch while he's hanging on to the. Yeah, he got banged up.
He must have, or else maybe he just grazed it. I don't know. It happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
We were totally synced up during this movie too, so I didn't want to mess it up by backing the movie up.
Yeah, we were like right in the same place the whole movie and just going crazy for most of it. Zaat is the costume kept ripping during the movie, so by the end of the movie with all the patching, they said that it weighed about 120 pounds, and it would get even heavier when he went into the water. Speaking of that, this movie is filled with people getting wet. And we were talking about it, like, could you imagine being in wet jeans all day? Like, in just how, what do you call it? Just how wet and hot and muggy all this was. It just too much.
It's so gross.
Yeah.
He just walked right through the water in long jeans as if he wasn't going to have to spend the rest of the day. And his socks, if he was wearing socks, they would be soaking wet. I mean, I can't even fathom it.
It's just the worst. Like, just so gross. And the smell of the swamp, the smell of the Zaat. Zaat looks like the Grinch that stole Christmas with a fish head But yeah, and I saw someone said he looks like the Gorn from Star Trek on acid. I saw someone say that he does. Um, yeah, that hippie guy sounded like Neil Diamond. I saw someone else brought that up. There's a lot going in this, but I, I I love it. This is a good mood movie. You can put this on at a party with no sound, and your people are going to stare at it. Um,
Something about Zat's mouth reminded me of Dr. Freudstein.
mhm.
He had a Dr. Freudstein mouth. Not the eyes, but definitely the lower half of his face.
He does. He's man. This movie's crazy. The bad guys win at the end. Uh, she falls in love with Zach and goes into the ocean after him.
Yeah,
Uh,
she liked it.
yeah, she's like, I've never had a man tie me to a gurney and hold me over an indoor swimming pool before, and I really like that. And I
It was
think
a kink she didn't know she had.
she didn't. And what happened to those kids that were on the swing? I guess one of them, the boy, got killed, right?
Oh, the girl ran away,
Yeah,
hopefully. And
hopefully.
everybody in this movie was so dumb. There's
Yeah,
the one scene where she's cornered by him in her house, I guess, when she's obliviously working next to those slatted glass
yeah.
panels that were behind her. Oh, those make my skin crawl. And she had a chance to get away and she didn't take it. She turned around and started throwing beakers at him.
I like that she ducked him the first time. She did like a wrestling duck, like a
That was a
comedy match
great
duck.
move.
Yeah. Also, the crazy thing about this movie is, go figure, there was no budget. They couldn't afford lights that were outside,
Sure.
so they used their car headlights. So if you look at some of the shots in the movie where windows are in it, you can see the headlights being reflected in the windows. These are the kind of movies that we bring to you guys. It's nothing but the best in quality. But whenever we're talking about it, he's like, this is our niche. This movie is it. Like if you would say, like, what kind of movies do you guys show? We're like, we show Zat. It's about a killer catfish that walks. And it played drive-ins for 12 years, 13 years, and people kept coming to see it under other titles. But I found one other title, by the way. Legend of the Zat Monster is another one of the IMDb lists, which,
Where?
yeah,
Where was it called
I
that?
know. I think on IMDb only. Mm. There's that one scene, too. Speaking of, I saw that simplify my masturbation routine. When that girl's making out and Zat's looking through the windows all sad, and he's like, just kind of looking through the windows, and then he just walks away.
Don't kink shame that.
Bill, we
Voyeurism is his thing, although they should have been in on it. That's not nice.
How about that chart he had too? It was like on a Chuck-a-Luck wheel. Uh,
It was like a serial killer shrine.
yeah, he like
Like,
spun
this.
that wheel. Yeah.
Didn't you love that he could draw after he
Yeah.
turned into a fish?
Yeah, he retained his ability. What if he got even better at drawing? It's really amazing. Also, we got a French ad for horoscopes and a WhatsApp number. We made it. Sawadogo Basca said, Je dépose cette tomogue pour la benfiant des rois spiritual Armageddon. Wow. I don't
Wow,
know what
right
that
on.
means.
I kind of leaned back so I couldn't see what was going on in the
Yeah,
text.
but you know what? Whenever I see those things happen, I'm like, we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. So congratulations, everybody.
Keeping that.
Yeah, Zat was just kind of like, huh, what am I doing? I'm looking through the window. If Zat had porn inserts, it would be better. Yes, I agree. Anyway, anyways, this
Hey, you
feels
like
like
my little Kolchak thing that I have
I
going here?
have to tell you, I love it. The subscribe thing coming up, it makes me so happy, Bill. This is one of the best things you've done.
Kolchak says that you should subscribe
You
to
should.
Drive It or to Groovy Doom on YouTube and on Facebook. Click like, and
Mhm.
if you really like us, share the love, share the video.
Also, the same guy who played the doctor that turns into Zat is the voice of the German guy on the radio, too, that kind of calls. I
I
also
loved how they included the German accent in this film.
I love that, and I love that they're like, you know what, this movie needs a girl to strip out of her jumpsuit and get in a shower. I think that's what it's missing, but you don't see anything. You know
It
what?
was PG.
It was PG. Yeah, pretty great. That's what it was. I'm so glad that we did it again. Was that
What did we do again?
just zatted it? We watched Zat again. Like I could watch that. I think Zat should be like we should do it like once a year. Like June, the first episode of June every year is just Zat. The start your summer with some Zat.
We saw the shit out of Zaat tonight.
Yeah, I want to see this at a real drive-in. I dare Gene to play it at the drive-in. You tell him, say he's like, people are gonna hate it. I'm like, you know what? That's part of the fun. Put this
I
one
don't
on
think
live.
that's too far-fetched. I mean, it would make
Yeah,
a nice fourth film.
yeah, definitely a fourth film. I think so. The hippie jail procession is great though. Like I want to go back and study that scene because
Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's
yeah,
go now.
yeah, because like why are they doing it? How do they all fit in the jail? What are they going to do with them in there? Where are they going to go to the bathroom? What are they in prison for? So many questions. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of questions of this. What Dr. Z wants to turn all of us into Zads, and also every building in this movie looks ramshackle at best. Some look crumbling,
Ew,
some just
yeah.
look filthy. Everything looks like it smells. Like I love it. Like this
Especially
is
that room with all the aquariums.
oh my god! And then
And
the aquarium with octopus that you said is going to crawl out at any minute. Like why would
it
it
was like
stay?
animal abuse. They
Yeah.
had all those fish in these teeny tiny little tanks.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Florida.
trust those people.
I want to. I've always talked. We always talk about the shared universe of coastal beach movies, but I really think I'd like to do like a cinematic universe of like this, Sting of Death, 2000 Maniacs, Blood Freak, like you know what I mean, like all the Florida movies, just all happening at the same time. Yeah, Steve says this movie smells like mildew. I completely agree. It's like everything. This should come with a mildew card where every time Zat shows up, you get like a sniff. He also his costume also looks like a Christmas tree sometimes. But I love
Really? Oh yeah, it has like that green shit on it, which looked cool at the beginning of the movie when he
yeah,
was underwater. It looked
yeah.
good, and I was like, "Oh, look, they have moss growing on him." Then I realized, oh, why would he have moss growing on him? I mean, like, what is that anyway? It's just to cover up some kind of bullshit they have going on there. So
He looks like he's wearing like real tree camo, kind of. You know, like he's out like in a
yeah,
tree stand, like trying to get a deer. Uh, but yeah, he's. I can't even imagine what the actor who played Zat smelled like at the end of each day. Just being in
oh
the
yeah.
swamp all day, just horrible. Uh, yeah, just not good.
Do you
But
think they were staying at some motel
oh yeah,
with no air conditioning?
no air conditioning whatsoever. But at least you could put a quarter in the bed and shake. I think probably that definitely was true.
I don't know how people live in Florida with no air conditioning. Like,
Oh,
how can you do it?
I don't know. It's rough. I have a friend actually, and she hates air conditioning. She posted on Facebook about it last year. She's like, "I don't know why people need air conditioning." I was like, "Cool." My wife put it on in February. It's though I did come out and yell last week because she had the heater on one morning because it was like 55, and she's like, "I had to put the heat on." I'm like, "It is so hot in this house. Like, you're insane." Uh, but however, so,
Yeah, I can't handle it.
no. The suit looked like loungewear. It was like monster loungewear. It looked like he was wearing kind of like a monster blazer over like pajama bottoms with like big athletic shoes feet.
Yeah, sometimes he had shoes on.
Yeah, sometimes. Speaking of monsters, I'm drinking a monster beer. I'm drinking
Nuh-uh.
yeah, I'm drinking the Return of the Lake Erie Monster from Great Lakes, and it is like 9.8 ABR, so it's pretty strong. But I figured it'd be a good one to drink a monsterish kind of beer. I think Zat deserves a beer. Uh,
Oh,
Might go
definitely.
to next time you go to Cracker Barrel. Please do not get catfish because you will think, "Am I eating Zat?"
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about catfish anyway,
Oh, I
so
love it. I think it's great, but I don't think I could eat it now because I like Zat too much. I would feel like if it came in, it was like kind of mossy, and I'd be like, "Oh boy, maybe I shouldn't be eating this."
well, it'd take an atom bomb to
To
wipe
cook
out
it,
your dinner.
yeah,
So
they'd have to put it in the microwave, huh? Oh, yeah. Paul said that's the weed he smokes. He smokes pieces of Zat's fur. We should make a strain of weed called Zat. Only you, like 3 people get it. Like you smoking Zat? Yeah.
Paul, I know you don't smoke weed. I know I've tried to get you to smoke weed.
Mike Justice is being commanded by Zaat to only drink wine from a jar. That's all Zaat will allow. I want to make a sequel to this where Zaat has taken over the world and very few people survive, and everybody's a Zaat, and there's
Yeah. I
that would
mean, that's where it was all going. He got away.
yeah Zaat versus Slithis. Let's make it happen. I think we need to see it. Slithis. Like,
Zat versus the Meg.
oh my god, how good would that be? The second Meg's not good, Bill. I watched it.
The first one wasn't good.
No, but you know what though? You got to watch this movies with my mother-in-law because she screams the whole time anytime something happens. So she makes them much more dramatic than they ever need to be. The Meg.
I've got some show and tell.
Let's do it.
So I promised to dig this out during the break. Here is my copy of Zaat on VHS Hydra. Here, wait, I'm going to turn on some lighting here so I can.
Ooh.
My mood lighting is nice for when
Yeah.
we're just chatting, you know, but.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
While you're doing that, I'll say Zaat is the clumsiest. I agree with Lee. Look how crazy Zaat looks horrifying. Oh, sorry, Hydra looks very frightening on that. Your art.
Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Yeah, look at him. He has very much a what do you call it? Giger kind of look, or like what do you call it? Humanoids from the Deep look here. He looks much more intimidating. Also, there will be no female butt in this movie like that.
Yeah, he's definitely scarier in this drawing.
Yeah, he looks closer to Slithis there, but yeah, more Giger. Yeah, wow.
Well, I mean, in fairness, there was a scene like kind of like this
in
the movie. So, you know.
That's a awesome poster though.
There's some back cover action. I don't know if any of that even takes place in the movie, but there you go. And while I was down there, I dug out some more VHS tapes to share with you.
Awesome.
Some blast from the past.
Oh, speaking of Cold Jack.
The Dark.
Does that Media Home Entertainment logo make you as happy as it makes me?
It sure does.
Yeah.
Probably everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone within the sound of my voice is captivated by the media logo, hopefully.
Oh.
And if you weren't, you should be.
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, here's Kathy Lee Crosby on film saying a 4-letter word. Shit. Oh, here's something that'll make you laugh. Ta-da!
Oh, beautiful.
One of those numerous Anchor Bay Halloween VHSs. First time in cinematic entirety. Whatever that means. And it's a nice clamshell thing, too.
Yeah.
Ta-da. There was an orange VHS. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have that one?
I didn't have it, but I rented it. Oh boy. Or is that from Heinz? Is that from Heinz?
Yeah, it is. You recognize that,
I recognize the Heinz sticker, yeah.
$4.95? Is that how much I paid? Yeah. Used.
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah.
House of Exorcism on VHS. Why is there a Ferris wheel, though?
I don't know. Wow. I dig it, though.
Savoir Rare says the only VHS logo that captivates me more is Wizard. I would have to agree. That's a fabulous one.
Yeah. I like a Lightning Video myself, or Canon. Obviously Canon video.
And again, that is definitely not a still from House of Exorcism.
No.
And look, it says it was directed by Mario Brava.
Is that John Rold Jr.?
Yeah, the very
John
one.
Rold. Yeah.
Isn't this exciting? You're gonna love this one.
Oh, how beautiful! An embassy. Really?
Yes.
Wow, I love that star on I love the
I know,
art
this
for
is
this movie.
beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's on hi-fi.
Ooh.
You can see it down there in the corner, hi-fi.
Nice.
If you have a fancy VCR, you can listen to it through your stereo.
Mm.
And this one is a little more accurate
Yeah.
in the photos on the back. It's a legit. Here's another oddity that I pulled out. Speaking of media entertainment.
Oh, wow.
Blackenstein. But this obviously was cut up and put into a case.
Yeah, it's still beautiful.
Yeah. Blackenstein is beautiful.
Yeah.
And here it is. Another media logo. And back picture action. It was so frequently not accurate.
Did you like that part on the Watchers podcast where they talked about buying out that whole video store? That Andrew,
oh yeah,
the Kiski Value Video was out by the drive-in. He bought like a ton of their back room. He said.
Yeah, you did an appearance on the Watchers YouTube channel. What was the exact name of the podcast? They've got a couple of them.
They do. This one's the movie one, and it was the live one. And they have the Sasquatchers, and they have Zombie Watchers, and they have a wrestling one. They have a lot of different stuff going on.
But so definitely check that out.
Yeah, I shared it in a, and I have a letterbox list of all my non-Driving Asylum appearances. If anyone ever checks it out, it's on my letterbox.
Hopefully, we'll get those guys on the show sometime.
Yeah, they. Andrew said he wants to literally dress up as a character when he's on. He wants to like wear a whole suit and everything,
like AC Nicholas did.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a cool idea, I think. Yeah. Well, there's just some great VA. I got nothing in the mail this week. I have some stuff scheduled to come in this week, but I didn't get anything last week. So nothing.
Come on. I had a book. I had VHS tapes.
I can tell you that starting, because it's June 1st, I am starting the what do you call it? June Exploitation Challenge from the website F This Movie. And every day there's a different challenge. Today, first day, June 1st, was Roger Corman. Tomorrow is Zombies. Wednesday is Shaw Brothers. Friday is Free Space. Tuesday is Free Space. Wednesday is 90s action. Thursday is Zombies. Friday is Buddy Cops. And Saturday is Kaiju coming up next week. And then throughout the month, I'll be doing the Something Weird video challenge starting June 16th. First week is all Joe Sarno movies. Second week is all movies that they're different lists by different Something Weird folks. I think it's all the Johnny Legend stuff the next week. So I have some pretty cool stuff coming up all summer long. And if anybody be interested in writing about that stuff, you can also join in with that too. Tomorrow's movie, I'll give you a spoiler, is Zombie New Millennium. It is a shot on video Italian zombie movie. Monday's Oily Maniac. So catching up on some stuff, but some cool stuff coming up on the site.
Well, how does it work? Do they assign you a movie, or do you just?
Yeah, they just give you they give you a category, and you can pick any movie that you want.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, so I have fun doing them, and it helps me kind of like figure out what I'm going to watch, and also like I have some movies that I always like keep for June Exploitation, and kind of have it ready to watch. So I know one of them. I've been waiting to watch the Wicked Dreams of Paula Schultz for a long time. And I watched that and shocked how many Hogan's Heroes people were in it. It's like literally the whole cast of Hogan's Heroes. So pretty fun movie. And yeah, a lot of all the Johnny Legend picks are going to be 1 week. Bleeding Skull picked movies for a week. So it's going to be pretty fun. I'm excited to do the week-long Something Weird ones too. So I'll get to see a lot of stuff that I haven't seen. I'll be watching a lot of Finley movies. I'll be watching the Flesh trilogy this summer for the site. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. And if you didn't listen, the new podcast is up. It is Sextet, which is a movie that we should probably show on the show at some point. What a strange movie. And I'm very excited about it. So
there's a lot of people in that. Tom Selleck,
Yeah. What's his name?
Where's
James Bond's in it too. Timothy Dalton's in it. What do you call it? Alice Cooper. Like, there's so many people.
Alice Cooper?
Yeah.
Is it like his role in Monster Dog?
No, he doesn't have as big of a role as he does in Monster Dog, but yeah, the new episode has a ton of info about Mae West. Bill, I watched a great TV movie called Linda, which I'd never seen. That's going to be on the site soon too. It's got John Saxon in it. It's very giallo. It's
Ooh,
like a husband, wife, a guy's wife makes it look like that she shot somebody, but whenever the police come, nobody's been shot, and then they think he's crazy, so they take him to jail. It's pretty cool. I really liked it. It's like a 75-minute long movie, but as you know, TV movies from like 72, 73 are always pretty great. So yeah, I'm filling out some of the other categories that will be on this summer, and for this list, it will be next week: Kung Fu, Shark Exploitation, Italian horror, movie by New World, an Australian movie, Bruce Lee exploitation, a Fulci movie, gangsters, 80s horror, black exploitation, something by AIP, 2000s action, a car movie, a vigilante movie, a Barbara Steele movie. Boy, that'll be hard. Another Corman movie, a
it
western,
will be hard.
and a slasher. It will be hard, yes. But which Barbara Steele movie will it be, though? You know, there aren't that many left that I haven't watched. So what will I pick? I don't know. So that's part of the fun of it. And then I already have some figured out for the Something Weird challenge that I've been kind of breaking out over the week. So excited about that. Another new movie I saw, Bill, that I really dug was Destroy All Neighbors. That's on Shudder. It is about a prog rock musician who lives in a small apartment building, and a new neighbor moves in who's too loud and is ruining his albums. So the album he's recording, so he accidentally kills the guy, and the guy won't die. He stays alive, and a lot of other people get killed, but then stay alive in his mind. It's a lot of fun. Alex Winters in it is the bad guy, who only listens to loud European EDM and moves furniture all night, which is pretty. It's really funny and a ton of gore, but really good. It's on Shutter right now. I really dug that. And also on Shutter, Dr. Caligari's on there. The 4K version of it is on there, which is super exciting for me.
Wait, you mean the original?
Yeah, no, the 80s one, the one that's like kind of porny, is up there.
Oh, okay. Porny.
Yeah,
It's porny?
it is. It feels a lot like a Wrench Dream or Dark Brothers movie. It looks a lot like the look of the Dark Brothers stuff. It's good.
We had a great Fright Lounge last week.
Oh yeah,
It was like some fantastic films that we watched. One of them was My Friends Need Killing.
I love that movie. Yeah,
Which I know you like that movie a lot.
yeah. Someone
I think
sent
I
that to
watched
me when I
it right
first
after
started
you
the
told
site.
me about it. You
Yeah,
were like you were telling me about it. I was like, I gotta hunt it down.
yeah,
And then I watched it again before we did the show, and it's so depressing.
yeah. Someone sent
God,
me a bootleg of it when I first started my site and said, "Please review this." And I was like, "Well, thank you for sending it." And I loved it. Like I dig that movie. It's really depressing though. It would be a good
that's
double feature with My Brother Has Bad Dreams.
that was another movie we did on the show.
Mm.
It was amazing to get to talk about that again. Any
Yeah, yeah,
excuse.
yeah.
But My Friends Need Killing was directed by the same guy who made I Dismember Mama.
Hmm.
They're very
Yeah,
thematically similar,
yeah.
which
It's cool. I've been grabbing like a lot of movies that I had backed up to watch this summer, and that's exciting when I always talk about how I save movies to watch, and like this is the time where the movies aren't being saved now; they're being used.
um so we watched those. Oh, and another one we watched is Dominique.
I
Do you
like that
like
movie.
that one?
Vinegar Syndrome put that out. Yeah,
Oh, it's beautiful. The print
yeah,
is absolutely beautiful.
yeah.
The fixed up version was online, so I watched that one, and I don't know. Like it had been a long time since I'd seen it. It's one of those intricately plotted. It's a giallo, right? Kind of. Oh, Sam, it looks like you froze. I thought you just tuned out to my vibe here. But anyway, Dominique is it looks like it was made in the early 70s. Oh wait, there you are. You're moving again.
Yeah.
Sorry, you froze there for a minute.
Sorry.
It looks like it was made in the early 70s, but it really wasn't released until 79.
Yeah, I always wondered about that because it feels like older than it is. But I kind of like that when movies feel like they're out of the time.
Well, it's very Nightmare Theater.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
reminiscent of the movie Nightmare
Yeah.
Theater.
Yeah.
It was funny, like nobody um seemed to know who Cliff Robertson was. And who else was in that movie? That was Jenny Agutter was in it. Looking very young and fresh, I might add, in
Yeah.
Dominique.
Yeah. I want to get that Vinegar Syndrome one. I should have got that during the sale, but I didn't. Oh well.
Dominique is dead.
She
Or
is
is
dead.
she?
Or is she? Yeah, that feels like it could play with Marta or a lot of the other um, Nightmare Theater movies.
It kind of the plot kind of reminded me of the night Evelyn came out of the grave.
Yeah, exactly. It's very similar. Yeah. Wow, that'd be a good one to show too.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
forget.
we definitely have to do that.
Don't forget if you have a suggestion for movies, you can always tell us. We have a letterbox list of future movies that we think that we should probably show, and we have used that list and taken movies off it already. So I've added 2 tonight that we were talking about. So it's always fun to think of new ones. There's a million movies we want to show. Next week, I'm super excited because I love Mask of the Red Death a lot. So I think that's why I said that's probably a classy movie for us. Nicholas Rogue, cinematographer for it. Come on, it's probably I would say it's up there with my favorite Corman movies. So
Oh, Delusion is
Mm.
finally out, says Vince.
Mm.
So I had a surprise question for you that I didn't prepare you for.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, think of a movie that you used to hate and now you love.
Mm.
Do you have anything like that that stands out?
Yeah. Let me think.
Da, 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 da.
Huh.
It's the Daily Double, Sam.
Yeah. Um. You know, one that's very mainstream, but I didn't like Halloween 4 when it came out because that's when I was in like the height of like being into movies because of gore and the effects. And now I really like it. I really like the mood that the credits set, and I like how cool it is. Um, it just feels right to me now. And then I think what another movie I hate that I love now. Um, not too many. I'm usually pretty much when I start seeing something, like I usually feel pretty on. I think what's funny is like before I had seen House by the Cemetery, it was playing on one of the drive-in nights of zombie movies, and I'm like, why is this playing with zombie movies? It's not a zombie movie. And then I saw it, I'm like, oh, it totally is. And I just kind of misjudged it, and I love it. What do you have any, Bill? That's a great question.
I should have had my response
Yeah.
prepared. Uh, well, um, I don't know. Like there were a lot of movies actually when I first saw them. One of them that I can think of right off the top of my head is Marta.
Mm.
When I
It,
first saw it, I was a little kid and I didn't like it. In fact, I hated it.
mm-hmm.
And we watched it for the show, and I was like, I really love that movie. Same thing with Blood Mania.
Yeah. I think some of those Euro horrors, if you watch them when you're really young, you're like, "Ah, I wanted something else. Like I wanted something scarier, and or I wanted something where things happen." And I could see if I saw some of those when I was younger, I would have uh, not liked them. But now that it's different now. Obviously,
Things have
things
changed.
have changed. Um, yeah, I think I'm trying to think of any other ones. No, I, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty solid usually with how I feel about stuff. I rarely, if ever, make a complete 180 on a movie. Becca does. I will say that Becca does. Like she didn't. There's movies she didn't like, and then she watches so many times that she ends up liking them.
Let us know in the chat if there's a movie that you used to hate and now you love it. Paul
Yeah.
says Crucible of Terror.
Hmm.
I'm not sure I know that one.
That's an interesting
Is
one.
that the Boris Karloff Crucible of Terror?
I don't know.
Oh, no, that's Cauldron of Blood. But
Yeah.
no, there was on the same bill, Crucible of Terror.
Hmm. I'm trying to think of anything else I didn't like when I was younger. I think, well, this is not horror, but like I didn't like Timothy Dalton as James Bond when I was young, and I went back and rewatched him, and I actually really like him as James Bond now. Now that I've watched them again, and I really dug him. Uh, I had the last viewing experience I had of them. I really got a lot more out of it than I did when I first saw them. So sometimes that happens.
When you're a kid, you don't understand movies that are about the journey,
Yeah.
not the destination. That's Blood Mania.
Yeah.
It's like you're not supposed to be waiting until the end of Blood Mania for
Yeah.
something to happen because it doesn't.
Well, I think too, if I was a kid, a lot of the Giallo and Criminy and those kind of movies that I like, I probably wouldn't have liked them. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have I would want more supernatural horror when I was younger. I wanted monsters and I wanted things that make sense. And now, like when things don't, like I really like it.
Yeah. Oh, Savile Rare says Messiah of Evil.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see that. Messiah takes like a couple of viewings to really. You have to get over your disappointment at it not doing what you wanted to do. There were a lot of movies like that for me,
Hmm. I will
where once I
say,
got past it,
I think when I was younger, I didn't want to like Return of the Living Dead because if I was like, oh well, it's a ripoff of Night, and I love Dawn so much, right?
yeah,
And then when I got older, I'm like, I don't have to like. I hate this binary. You have like those posts online, like you must choose one of these, and you can never watch the other one again. And
yeah,
then I was like, you know
just the
what, like
movie.
yeah, and I was like, you know what, I can like uh, what do you call it, Dawn, and I can like Return of the Living Dead because they're two totally different films. And very different takes on it. And I watching it at the drive-in, it just reminded me again, like I really like Return of the Living Dead. It's fun. It's just like goofy and fast, and a lot of cool stuff happens in it. Eldon has
Yeah,
a good thought. Is there a movie that you liked a lot when you watched it? See, I had a really weird experience at lunch today, and I'll tie this into what Eldon said. Um, One of my friends said, "When you watch '80s movies, none of them hold up." And I was like, "What movies are you watching?" Because he was like, "I watched Tron with my son, and it's like the effects look really bad and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, but you have to appreciate them as the time and place that they came out, right?" Especially when we realize like most of the stuff we watch is like tonight's was from '71. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah. I mean, you just can't use the same standards, and besides, it should be about the story,
yeah.
about what the movie is showing you. Is it
Mhm.
creating something that you don't experience in your everyday life? That's what
Like,
makes it interesting. Is it weird? Is it going to be like? Are you going to think about it?
and you also said earlier that like that this movie felt like totally like our jam, like the right way to describe a movie that we would show. What other movies do you think would fit into that? Like I was thinking like Blood Spattered Bride's another one. Um Alucarda. Like there's some movies that just totally feel like stuff like Haunts is another one that when we show it, it's like, oh yeah, well that's totally like a movie that we would like to watch.
There's another movie that I used to see on late night TV that really confused me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see The Gardener?
Mm-mm.
It stars
Oh,
Joe D'Alessandro,
no, no.
and they used to show it on TV as Seeds of Evil.
I know the title, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's about this guy who plants these. He plants flowers that bite people, or they seem to bite people,
Mm.
and he turns into a tree.
Mm. I mean, I like where you're going with it.
Eventually, he turns into a tree, or he started out a tree, which makes sense because he's played by Joe D'Alessandro,
Mm-hmm.
who is very tree-like in all of his film roles.
Yeah,
And
that totally
it's
makes
really
sense.
bizarre. It's like one of those "where is this movie coming from" things.
Yeah, now that you've said that, I'm going to check it out. I like movies sometimes that don't always add up, so sometimes that's cool to me. You know what I mean? Where it's like you got to kind of do a little bit of the work yourself, and I like that.
Well, it's also about when you saw it and what you were experiencing. Like I was young, and that was all of these movies are special to me for that reason. Is because I was just starting to experience a little bit of autonomy,
Mm-hmm.
or I could stay up as late as I wanted. At least when I went to my dad's house on the weekends, and
Mm-hmm.
there was all this stuff playing on WOR and Channel 11. It was all on late night, and I was tired when I was watching these movies. So you're half asleep and you're watching these bizarre things like Lamora. That's how I
Yeah.
saw Lamora at like 2 in the morning or something. So that adds a dimension to it. I'm not sure what, but
Well, I think this
changes
is
it.
not as classy as Lamora, but like all the Andy Sedaris movies, that's why they're important to me. Like you said, they were, I was just getting into puberty and like you said, able to stay up late and kind of do what I wanted. And when they came on, I was like, these movies are really weird. You know what I mean? And cool. And they stuck with me. And I talked later with people with it and about them and people had the same experiences. And
Lots of love for Freakmaker in the
I like
chat.
Freakmaker a lot.
I love it too.
Hey, Frank asked, "What's our next voiceover commentary flick?" Bill, you like the Red Wolf Inn one as a classic?
Ew. There's like a moth trying to
Oh,
land on me.
don't tell, our guest from a couple weeks ago. She's afraid of moths.
I know. Well, I am too.
Yeah,
I'm right there with her.
yeah.
I don't know what
We
what
talked
is
about
our
maybe
next.
doing a voiceover for haunts, maybe at
Oh
some
yeah,
point.
yeah. We
Yeah,
were talking about that.
yeah,
I don't know
uh,
when the next one we're gonna do for Visual Vengeance. We already have like 5 of them in the can that haven't come
yeah,
out yet.
yeah. I know, and they were at Texas Frightmare last weekend selling stuff. So whenever I'm gonna reach out and see when the next ones are coming out. There's a lot of Visual Vengeance stuff on Tubi too. If you're looking for something to watch, uh, a lot of their films are up there, which is exciting. So I love everything they put out. I'm really excited though, Bill, because there's a lot of ones that we did that are, I think some of the best ones we did haven't been released yet. So I'm really excited
Yeah, I
to
hope
see.
they come out because they were better than the ones that have.
Yeah, there's one I want to talk about too, and like and it's not out yet.
I know it's a bummer, but eventually we will get to talk about them one way
Yeah.
or another.
I think if you like the directors and stuff they've already put out, then good news. You know what I mean? That's probably the easiest way I can say it. Mike had a good call about eating alive. He saw it when he was a kid and hated the screaming and nasty filthy hotel and the dog being eaten, and now he loves it.
Oh yeah, that's another good one. I used to hate Eaten Alive.
Mm. Starlight Swamp,
Starlight Slaughter.
Starlight Slaughter. Yeah, I did. That was one of the things I was trying to explain to those guys in that show is that Bill and I often text each other about movies, but refuse to discuss them by their original titles. It'll always be like a title that like the oh, I like your Daddy's Deadly Darling shirt you're wearing, Sam, and I'll say, oh, thank you.
Death Trap. That's another Eaten
Death
Alive
Trap. Oh,
title.
it is. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I do want to. We
Legend
do
of the
enjoy doing
Swamp.
the commentary, so we're gonna have to do another one at some point. Though we had a blast doing the Messiah one and the Terror House ones that we did, as well as all the ones we've done for Visual Vengeance. I recommend buying the any of the ones that are out. We have what Lichen Colony and Replicator and Suburban Sasquatch are out of those, and they're all the Suburban Sasquatch one is very fun. It's mostly us laughing through the movie, but that's a pretty good one.
You were laughing. I was lusting.
Yeah, exactly. I love that movie. And I love the packaging. Those Visual Vengeance does not to sell you any further on it, but they really do an amazing job of putting together. You get stickers, you get a video store card, you get sometimes
Oh,
posters, you get
this is
so much stuff.
stellar.
Yeah,
Absolutely stellar.
yeah, they do such a nice job of all the stuff they put out, and then also put out Like in Colony. I did the commentary, not commentary, the book that comes with it too. So that was fun. Savoy Rare asked, "What was Tales from the Crypt 2?" That would be Vault of Horror, wouldn't it be, Bill?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which I guess they really were going to call that Tales from the Crypt 2 at one point.
Yeah, I like Vault of Horror better. I wish they had got all shock suspense stories out. That would have been cool too. So, yeah. Looks like you have some ads coming up, Bill.
How could you tell?
I can see what's coming next now with the
Oh. Look, this is so helpful. Why didn't I discover this feature like 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just pulled some other stuff to look at. This is just random stuff from Hartford, Connecticut.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So apartment on the 13th floor.
I like that movie.
Me too. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
The more I think about it, I think Don't Go in the Bedroom has got to be this movie because that's literally a plot point in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Although not for the reasons that you might think.
It's a great ad, though. I love the handwritten font and the wavy line around it. It's really pretty.
One thing I wasn't expecting when I saw this is that it was going to include like the protagonist of this movie is a working class dude who works in a canning factory or something, and then he becomes there's this building which we see in the ad here that's a skyscraper almost, and it's in the middle of this area that's just rural and there's nothing there but dirt around it. It's really strange. And the people that live in this building are privileged and they have money, and their apartments are lavishly furnished. So that was a place that I didn't expect a movie like Cannibal Man to go. I kind of dig this.
I love this.
A reissue.
What a triple feature.
Yeah, I know. This was a reissue from the 70s, I think.
It's still nice. But I like that they dare us to see it.
You will not believe the shock of these two movies. Dracula, three movies. Phantom of the Opera. I'm sure that wasn't the Lon Chaney one.
It was probably the Universal one. Ooh.
Beasts of the Yellow Plague.
Is that Beast of the Yellow Knight?
Yes.
Okay.
And instead of the blue hand, it's now the creature with the blue hair.
Why?
Well, at least they got the Devil's Crypt right.
Yeah.
Which was also known as the Devil's Wedding Night.
Oh, Joe D'Amato did the cinematography for that.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Boys are not for children.
And Blue Sextet.
Yeah, what is Blue Sextet?
God, I used to know. I I looked this up. back when I first saw Toys Are Not for Children.
Mm.
I think it's another film by the same director.
Yeah. Toys R Us for Children
Not
is one of
sure.
those movies too where it's like they're like, oh, this is an adult movie and you can get off to it, and it's like, no, you can't.
It's
It's so
not.
dark.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I mean, it's got sexy stuff in it, I guess. There's
Yeah.
nudity, but you're not going to feel comfortable after having
No.
seen it.
And if you are, you're a lunatic.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I thought I'd show this fave too.
Bill, the Vinegar Syndrome has the all three of them. They had them in the sale where the boxes go together, and I was like, "Fuck, I really want those so bad."
Details, Mike Justice, details.
Mm-hmm. I love Angel so much, all the Angel movies, but the first and second one are so good.
Well, Susan Tyrell, of course, is
Oh,
just genius.
yeah.
I love her haircut scene in Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Oh,
She's like, there.
yes.
That's
on
better.
Tubi, by the way, now, which is exciting.
I watched it on Shudder the other day.
This is almost a Hammer. I mean, almost a Canon triple feature. There's two Canon, Schizoid and New Year's Evil, two Canon films.
Well, isn't this the movie we were talking about before, or was that a different one? Crucible of Terror is the one
I know that
Paul mentioned.
I think he went back and forth on the title, so hopefully he'll tell us.
And Schizoid.
David reached out to me today and mentioned that the Hysteria Live shared about an unmade canon slasher called Lover's Lane that was supposed to come out in 1980, and they were talking about, the obviously Schizoid was a big success, as was X-Ray. So there was an ad that was in Variety for it and everything, and it was supposed to have Wayne Newton in it as the killer.
Wow.
And it was written by Hal Landers and Robert Benedict. Landers is the producer of the first two Death Wish movies, and Astor directed New Year's Evil, and was supposed to direct X-Ray, and then he directed Nine Deaths of the Ninja, which is not a canon movie. But yeah, it was kind of like the urban legend story of The Hook, and it was like kind of like an urban legend movie. But it was in pre-production and just never ended up happening. I remember I asked Austin about it, and one of the things he said is that Canon kind of made a decision to not make any horror movies because there were so many other horror movies, especially in '80 and '81. Tons of slashers, and they decided to, even though Schizoid New Year's Evil did pretty well, maybe let's concentrate on action. That was kind of the genre, especially with the Bronson movies and Chuck Norris movies, where they were making their money.
All right.
Thanks for sending that to me, David.
David. Oh, David from the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure who you were talking about.
Yeah. We're on a first name basis, sorry.
Hey, I'm on a first name basis with David too.
Yeah.
Aren't I, David?
Oh. Pile students.
They went there.
Oh my God. A different kind of X is a great tag.
Literally.
Oh.
You have to say that, right?
You have to. I love this ad.
You love this movie.
I did. I used to have two shirts of this movie and I wore them all the time. And then people kind of took them the wrong way. And it was like, I guess I can't wear these anymore. So, yeah, I do love this movie. I love all four of them, especially the Jess Franco one. Oh, Bill.
And last but not least,
Abby doesn't need a man anymore. This ad is incredible. How could you see this ad and not want to go see this 5 times?
I love her airplane move.
Yeah. Man, I want to watch this movie again right now.
I know.
I love Abby so much.
That's one of my most wanted Blu-rays.
It's definitely in my most wanted Blu-rays. Oh.
You know they could do it. I mean, like technically they could do it because
Oh yeah.
it's probably just lying around in a vault somewhere.
What's funny is my friend Chris Erickson, who's sometimes in the chat, his sister-in-law works for a studio, and they own MGM, and they own obviously the rights to The Astrologer. And he asked her about it, and she said, we have it. I can find it and get it and watch it if you want to." She's an archivist, and she's like, "But we're never going to release it ever." And I was like, cool.
There's got to be somebody though, even if they don't release it.
AGFA has the one print that
Somebody
they
made a
play.
scan of it.
It's on. There is a version of it that's on the Internet Archive. It's not in bad shape, but like AGFA has it. They play it live. They're allowed to play theirs, but the music issues are never going to get fixed.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, because I mean, I love that he wrote to the Moody Blues and asked for money to use their music in the movie. That's not how it works. Craig Denny.
Can you pay me because I put your music in my movie?
And like parts of it were made for a syndicated miniseries, which is weird. Like the whole story is insane. He may have faked his death. Like there's so much going on with it. But I'm obsessed with that movie. But you know what? Like some movies, like isn't it cool that there are some movies that you have to hunt for and you might never see? Like it's the same as like the Loch Ness Monster. Like I don't want to know it really exists. Like I like the idea that maybe there's something out there, and like the idea that there's a movie out there, like maybe The Day the Clown Cried, or The Farmer was one of those movies for me too. Like where I was like, I couldn't wait to see it. And it kept getting taken down every time I'd get close to seeing it, and I'm so glad I got to see it. So, and we got to show it. It's so funny to me now because I agree, Mike. The Loch Ness Monster was Jack the Ripper. Is it bullshit? But The Farmer's on Tubi now, and it's so weird that like a movie that I waited so many years to see, now it's just there. You know what I mean? Like I could
now
watch
you're not
it
interested in it, probably.
Yeah.
Like you've seen it a couple times by now. Okay.
You know what though? I think about it a lot though. Like I really like that movie.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got such a weird soundtrack. It's got such cool stuff in it. And but yeah, like I like the idea that I remember I said to you before, like I always used to worry that will I run out of movies, like weird movies that I love, and no, you never will. There'll always be. That's why I hold on to these movies and sometimes don't watch them. But yeah, I won't. And hey, you know what? Even though I've seen Mask of the Red Death numerous times, I'm super excited next week. And hey, by the way, guys, reach out to Rashandi Lodi in the chat. She left her WhatsApp number. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Full open video calling Kurungi.
There's nothing suspicious about that.
No, of course not. If you guys want to know more about The Astrologer, I did a whole podcast about it where I went way too deep into it. I mean, it's a movie about an astrologer making a movie about an astrologer making a movie about an astrologer. If that doesn't make you want to watch it, I mean, I don't know what will. Yeah, it's insane. Like, I just love it. Also, speaking of movies that I've been waiting forever to come out on Blu-ray, Bill, Trick or Treat's coming out. How exciting is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big idea to get used to.
I'm super excited about it. Yeah. I have the DVD. I just talked to my old boss. He bought it for me at a library sale. He's like, "You like Ozzy Osbourne?" I'm like, "You don't know how much I love this movie." And he was like, "Oh, I got it for a quarter." And I'm like, I told him the other day, I said, "It's going to be like $80 when the 4K comes out." But totally worth it. You know? So
yeah, there's a lot of people waiting for that. It's long overdue.
And that UK Dawn of the Mummy release, how exciting is that?
You know how that made me feel, but it's like you said, like if you buy that, it's going to come out in the States. Someone's going to put it out here.
Yeah, I think it feels like a really good Severin one. You know, like it feels like definitely like a Severin or Vinegar Syndrome release.
Speaking of movies that you can't get on home video, what did you think of The Magic Garden of Stanley Sweetheart?
Loved it. It's such a
I can't remember if
rambling
we talked
narrative.
about it on the
No,
show.
we didn't. We didn't talk about it on the show. It's such a rambling movie that like I can see why some people didn't like it, but that's what I loved about it. It felt like you were
Yeah.
literally watching someone's life, like his life in the movie and like all these lives of these characters. And they all felt like you were watching people and not characters. Like I kind of got that feel of it. And it's really good. Yeah.
I love Michael Greer in it.
His voice is amazing when he's singing rock. He sounds like Morrison. He's a great singer in it. He's almost like sinister at parts and then very fatherly to him in other scenes. It's very strange. Like I love his character in it.
And what's my favorite scene in the whole movie?
Where they're all screaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the part where Linda Gillen has that ring with acid in it or something. And
Yeah.
she gives it to a couple people, and then one of the guys playing guitar cuts his hand, and he like touches somebody with the blood, and everybody starts screaming and touching the blood.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. Here's a good question. Will we ever feature animation?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what movie we'd show outside of Fritz the Cat or Heavy Metal or
Yeah, I mean,
Fantastic Planet, maybe.
it would depend
That
on
feels
what
a
it
little
was, I guess.
highfalutin for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem with that is the animated stuff that I would want to show is all shorts.
Yeah.
So, like I'd love to show it's not really animation, it's stop motion animation. I'd love to show recorded live. That thing where the blob of audio tape eats people. I really dig that.
Yeah. I like any of the HBO in between stuff. Like that's the cool stuff to show. Yeah.
I
It's
love
we-
that somebody called out the night flight vibe
Yeah.
too for our intro because it's totally what I was going for.
Yeah. Again, great Night Flight article by AC Nicholas in the new issue of Driving a Sound.
Yes.
Buy it at the Etsy store, but it's a really great one. Yeah, Bambi versus Godzilla is really good too. Yeah, so I have to think of some. Why not compile it then, Bill? That's a good idea. Maybe we'll work in a couple at some point. Who can say?
Then it becomes a rights issue thing. If it's not posted online and we can't link to it, then it would have to be something that we made ourselves and linked to, and that would be a big no-no.
Yeah.
We've already soured a few relationships by doing things like that.
Yeah. By the way, if I can recommend a short, Somewhere in Michigan is a really cool slasher musical video, shot on video bit of weirdness. That's really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's real strange. Actually, people were posting it on TikTok as a cursed video a couple of years, thinking that it was like some weird occult thing. It's not, but there's a fine line between an occult movie and an art movie. But I love it. So yeah, check it out.
Right on.
All
Anything
right.
else before we shove off?
No, have a great week, everybody. I was looking forward to this so bad this week because I don't know if it's like that for you too, Bill. But like when I have a Monday off from work, the work week somehow gets more work in 4 days than in 5 days. Like we got really beat up this week, so I'm feeling it this weekend.
I know what you mean. It happens to me, and not quite maybe as frequently as you, but with my schedule at work, sometimes it's just like the schedule's great, and I'll have 4 or 5 days off in a row, and then I got to work like 10, 11 days in a row. It really makes you tired.
We switched everything in our work. We have the system that manages our projects. We switched from one system to another, and of course, like we're building the new system from scratch.
Yeah.
And it was just like a lot of like everybody had to be on teams with each other for a full day to learn how to do it, where we were all like just entering jobs, and it's good. Like our team really works well together, but it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, but it's okay. We'll do it. We'll get through it. And I'm just excited to have. I wish I had an extra day off this weekend because it feels like Saturday's like the day that gets me close to feeling chilled out, and then Sunday night you're like, go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes, but this show really helps. It's something to look forward to. Next week's definitely something to look forward to. Rest in peace, Roger Corman, and I think his best movie next week. So it'll be cool. We'll talk a lot about him during the show next week.
Right on. We hope you'll come back next week and hang out with us and watch fantastic films. Well, one anyway.
Yeah.
Drive-In Asylum late movie next week, 11 p.m. Be there.
Thanks for
Have
watching.
a great week, everyone.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.